Very interesting, yes. I think I'm going to read this whole article. Hello, R. Frederick Riddle here, and welcome to Christian News and Views. Today we are looking at some Dems frustrated by Biden pardon. And so I'm going to read this. Actually, I guess I'm going to have to read the whole article because I couldn't find anything to delete. But my opinion on it is not going to be that long because this kind of builds on what I talked about yesterday. So here's the article. Already reeling from their November defeats, Democrats are grappling with President Joe Biden's pardoning of his son for federal crimes after the party spent years slamming Donald Trump as a threat to democracy who disregarded the law. The president pardoned Hunter Biden late Sunday, reversing his previous pledges with a grant of clemency that covers more than a decade of any federal crimes his son might have committed. The 82-year-old president said in a statement that his son's prosecution on charges of tax evasion and falsifying a federal weapons purchase form were politically motivated. He believes in the justice system, but he also believes that politics infected the process and led to a miscarriage of justice, said White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, who along with Biden and other White House officials insisted for months that Hunter Biden would not get a pardon. That explanation did not satisfy some Democrats, angry that Biden's reversal could make it harder to take on Trump, who has argued that multiple indictments and one conviction against him were a matter of Biden and Democrats turning the justice system against him. This is a bad precedent that could be abused by later presidents and will sadly tarnish his reputation. Colorado Governor Jared Polis wrote of Biden on the social media platform X. When you become president, your role is pater familias of the nation. The governor continued a reference to the president invoking fatherhood and explaining his decision. Hunter brought the legal troubles he faced on himself, and one can sympathize with his struggles while also acknowledging that no one is above the law, not a president and not a president's son. Representative Greg Stanton, a Democrat from Arizona, said on X, "This wasn't a political motivated prosecution. Hunter committed felonies and was convicted by a jury of his peers." Now, I've covered the whole thing here rather briefly, and I just want you to grasp this. I explained yesterday about how pardon works and the presidential powers, the extent of them, and some restrictions. And so, if I remember correctly, I made a statement that he was in his right to pardon his son. There was nothing illegal about it. That he did. He was fully allowed to do that. You can argue the points of whether he should have or not, and you get into politics when you get there, and that's what this article is getting into a little bit. So what I want to do today is take this and break it down a little bit for you and explain where I stand. Now, it said in this article you can sympathize. Let's see, where is that? You can sympathize with his struggles. Well, no, there's no sympathizing with Hunter. As Greg Stanton said, this wasn't a politically motivated prosecution. Hunter committed felonies and was convicted by a jury of his peers. There's a big difference between committing felonies and being convicted by your peers than what Donald Trump went through. Most of those, I think you could actually say all of them, have been trumped up. Excuse the play on words there, I didn't mean that. But they've been overturned. Once they get to the higher courts, even before they ever get to the Supreme Court, they start getting shot down, overturned, and whatever. And the conviction, I think that's going to face the same fate because there's lack of facts. A lot of things they said were unsupported by actual facts. They're mostly supported by, well, it's sort of like saying you say something that's not really true, and then later on you reference that as a fact. And you build your case on fact after fact and fact, and the whole thing is based on innuendo. So there's a big difference there. And to actually sympathize with the Democrats, they used or tried to use the Justice Department against Trump. There's no reason to sympathize with them on this. They brought it on themselves. And now they're having one of their own being coming under the same scrutiny that Trump came under, but there was a whole lot more facts involved, and I think he even pleaded guilty. It's in one of the in the process of the trials and stuff like that. So there was no reason to really feel any sympathy with the Democrats or with Hunter. Now, what this does show is that the Democrats act like children. You ever seen this? Now, I've never had children of my own, but I observed children. I like children, love children. But children are children, and they're going to do childish things. And one of the things that children do is they like to get their own way. And they will say things, they will do things to other people. Bullies are a classic example of this. A bully is really in his element, or her element for that matter, when they're bullying somebody. But when it turns around that somebody starts bullying them, or things get thrown back in their face, they cry. And they go running to mother or father, and they're complaining about such and such, which they did on a regular basis to somebody else, but now it's coming back on them. Now that's childish behavior. It's something we expect of a child. They have to grow up, they have to learn the rules, they have to learn how to maintain some composure, to withstand trial and error, not trial and error, but to withstand things that don't go their way. All these things are part of growing up. But we're talking about adults here. We're talking about politicians who have had no problem twisting the truth, twisting the law against somebody they didn't like. Even creating a fake narrative that eventually got thrown out because it eventually was discovered. And that's the what's called the Russian hoax. But the thing is, up until they got discovered, they were right on. They were righteous. They could get righteous anger, and we still see that today. Even after the election, there's righteous anger that's based on nothing, no real moral ground. So they're acting like children, and they need to be treated like children. It is true that Hunter Biden brought his legal problems upon himself. It is also true, and I've already stated this, that the Democrats brought this whole affair upon themselves. And so that is something that they're just going to have to live with it. Yes, they've shot themselves in the foot, and rightly so. And it's good to see it happen, actually, because they've been getting away with this for years, actually. Making statements about Trump that when you investigated, they fell flat in their face. They charged him with lies. Well, you take something that's said over here and say something that he said over here and then bring them together and now say, well, this is what he said and it's a lie. Okay, this is what was a lie. But this wasn't, and this wasn't. What it is, they brought them together. And I've seen this happen over and over and over again. They think we're stupid, that we don't see with our eyes, don't hear with our ears. or if we do see and we do hear, we don't comprehend. They have to show us. And if they get caught, it's sort of like when they got caught red-handed lying about global warming, and they said something happened and it actually didn't. Their explanation was, well, yeah, that was not true, but if it could have been true, or it would have been true if certain this, and that happened. They don't react well to being caught. It's like a child. When a child gets caught lying, what do? They lie some more, trying to get out of it. And the more lying they do, the deeper the hole is they dig. And so that is basically today's news. It was very light on the news today. I do know that they call today Giving Tuesday. So it might be a good time if you give and you're able to give above and beyond what you normally give to charities and so forth, maybe to give something more. It's called Giving Tuesday. Now, if you like this channel, be sure to just subscribe below in that icon and get on the list of following. I got 2 podcasts. This one here, Christian News and Views, and the other one is Becoming a Published Author is Fun. Both are put out by T&R Independent Books. That's the business that I own. It's located at trbookservices.com. You're free to come and visit there and explore and learn more about me, more about the business as you will. But I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next episode.